Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to read the story The Karate Parrot. Sunil shuffled across the pavement on his crutches and approved Mab's Cafe on Church Street. The door swung open automatically as he reached the entrance. Sunil made his way slowly into a large room. Anil and Bala were sitting in their usual seats by the window overlooking the streets. They had seen Sunil make his way unsteadily across the pavements, so they rose to welcome him when he entered the cafe. "Goodness me!" exclaimed Bella as Sunil approached the table. "What on earth have you been up to?" "Been kicking a cat," joked Anil. Sunil heaved himself up to an empty chair and let the crutches fall to the floor. "You will not believe what happened to me," sighed Sunil. He sank with relief into the chair. "It's a long story, so you had better order me an espresso first. We were wondering where you had got to," said Bala. "We thought you had found some other cafe to go," added Anil. A waiter was summoned and Sunil's coffee was ordered. "Well, tell us then," exclaimed Bala. "Yes, what is the incredible story you have to tell us?" asked Anil. "You won't believe it," said Sunil, "but it is all perfectly true." The waiter was arrived with a steaming cup of espresso and placed it on the table in front of Sunil. He looked curiously at Sunil's foot, which was in a plaster. When the waiter had gone, Sunil helped himself to get sugar and stirred the coffee. He gazed out the window at the people passing by outside. "Come on," urged Anil. "What happened?" Sunil took a sip of coffee, wiped his mouth and smiled. "Well," he began, "on Wednesday I was fine, but on Thursday I ended up with this broken foot." Sunil struck out his foot for his friends and get a good look. "It all started when my wife decided to get a pet," continued Sunil. And then he settled comfortably into his chair to tell them his story. Sunil's story was, "As you know, Sushmita has always wanted a pet. She has begged me for months to get a dog or a cat for her company. But the problem is we live in a flat. I've always felt it is not fair on a dog or a cat to be imprisoned in a flat on 6th floor of an apartment building. Dogs need open spaces and cats need to come and go as they please. A flat is certainly not a suitable place for them, in my opinion." Well, Sushmita agreed with me in the end, but last week she went along the pet shop and the corner of GT Road and Flower Streets. You know, the place beside the milk depot? She decided that if she could not have a cat or dog, she was going to see what else they had in the shop. She felt she had to have some sort of pet around. The children have all grown up now and left the home, so she feels a little lonely, especially when I'm in here most of the time with you two. On Thursday, I went to the city, to the bank. I had business there, so I decided to finish my work at the bank, do some shopping. I needed sales for my radio and one or two other things, and then get home by the evening. Sushmita, on the other hand, did not tell me what was her plans. I found out later that she ended up in the strange little pet shop she walked into. The shop, it was the first time she had been there. I met a pleasant shop assistant. Sushmita explained her problem to the young man. He listened attentively. She suggested me to that she might like to buy a parrot. Parrot, said Sushmita in astonishment. What comfort can I get from a parrot? I cannot stroke it or play with it. I cannot cuddle it. The young man spoke up immediately. Madam, I'm not talking about any kind of ordinary parrot. He explained. The parrot I have in mind will give you hours of amusement. The parrot I have for sale is unique. It is the only karate parrot in India. My wife was very amused, but she was curious as well. She had never heard of a karate parrot. Have you guessed it? Okay, now let's go back to the story. Not many people have. What does it do? She asked. Karate, explained the assistant. He was obviously not a man of many words. Anyways, the assistant said he would demonstrate what the parrot could do. He placed an old chair in a space in the middle of the shop. Then he brought the caged parrot to my wife and placed the cage on the service counter. He opened the door of the cage and the parrot ambled out. The man stretched out his arm and the parrot climbed onto his sleeves. He then said in a loud voice, Parrot, karate chair. The parrot immediately flew into the chair and began to attack the chair. It squirmed and fluttered up and down, flapping its wings with great vigor. In a matter of seconds, the chair had been reduced into a pile of shattered wooden pieces. Its work done, the parrot flew back across the shop and swooped down onto the assistant's shoulder. He stood there looking very pleased with himself. My wife, on the other hand, stood with her open mouth. She was lost for words. Never in all her years had she seen such a sight. Done, she explained. She paid the man and took the bird home. Needless to say, she was quite excited by her new purchase. As soon as she got home, she searched through all the cupboards in the house and took from them old boxes, crockery, and any other useless but stored items she could find. She spent an hour or so allowing the parrot to practice his skills. The pair of them had a smashing time. She would shout, "Parrot, karate large box," and the parrot would swoop down and destroy the box with a few hefty blows. Then she would order it to destroy something else. The parrot, according to her, did not tire of this activity. "And that, my friends," said Sunil, finishing off his espresso, "is how I came to break my foot." "What do you mean?" asked Bala. "Yes, what do you mean?" echoed Anil. The pair of them had not uttered a word throughout the story. They had found it all too incredible. "You have not explained exactly how you broke your foot," suggested Bella. "Oh," said Sunil, "you see, I returned home at 7 o'clock to find my wife and the parrot in the sitting room. The parrot was walking along the back of the sofa, carelessly pulling at some loose threads. This was a little annoying. When I inquired about the creature, she told me she had bought it at the pet shop. I was staggered and even more annoyed when she told me how much it cost. It's not an ordinary parrot, dear," she explained sweetly, and then proudly declared it's a karate parrot, and it's the only one of its kind in India. "Karate parrot," I cried in disgust and disbelief. "Parrot karate my foot," Sunil said. And then, you know what he did. The parrot went and then smashed Sunil's foot, and then that's how he broke his foot. That was the last thing Sunil said before he broke his foot. The rest of them were, "Wow," they said. "That's a very interesting story." Okay, guys, that's the end of my story. If you like this special Indian story, please like and subscribe. It's me, Shadid Gaming. Bye bye.